Hello, everybody. You're listening to Westchester Talk Radio, produced by Shark Creative and made possible by our friends over at Entergy, Indian Point Energy Center, Lapolis Electric, Park Sterling Realty, Hightower, Westchester. Thanks for joining us. And today we have Heidi Davidson from Galvanize Worldwide. Hi, Heidi.
Hi.
So nice
how
to
are
have
you?
you. Nice to have you with us.
Thanks for having me.
So Heidi, just a little bit of background on you. I know you went to Pace University. You studied at Lubin School of Business. You worked for MasterCard a while ago. You've got just a tremendous list of accolades that you've done over time. And then you became the owner, CEO of Galvanize Worldwide. And we certainly want to talk to you a little bit about that. I know you worked for BlackBerry at one time.
True. Yep.
But, you know, you're very active in the community. Most recently, now the chairperson of the chairman of the board for the Business Council of Westchester, which congratulations and good luck, because I know that's a lot of responsibility. I know you've been, very active with that, and certainly big shoes to fill with Tony Justick.
Sure.
But you're doing a phenomenal job. I mean, you really are. I was with you a couple of times already this year. And you have just such a warm way about you. You're a tremendous leader. And let's just get right into it. I mean, this is what we're calling here is isolation therapy. You're our third interview. And what we really want to do here is just get a perspective from our business leaders on how they're doing personally. So how are you doing, Heidi? Like, tell us a little bit about what life is like right now in isolation with your family.
Yeah.
Give us your experience with that.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. So it's great to be with you, first of all, and great to see your face, even when we're not together in person. Our family is locked down, as everyone else's has been, since about March 13th. So we have, my husband is working in the basement, working from home, lucky to be working from home. And then we have a 9th grader and a 6th grader. And so they are both working, doing schoolwork. Basically, it comes in as an avalanche at 9 a.m. And they're working through the periods of the day, and it all has to be completed by 4 p.m., all virtually. And we're really impressed with the Harrison School District. They've done a great job of getting right to it. We lost one day only, and then we were right back on it. So it's been busy having everybody in my space. I normally work virtually. So our team at Galvanize, we have 81 people now. They all are working wherever in the world they want to work. And so I do spend a lot of time already in my home office. So for me personally, or at the client offices, but for me personally, not a ton has changed in terms of work or an adjustment of where we're working, because everybody has been working on Zoom video calls with us all the time anyway, and working remotely. So
you're in a sense, you're sort of set up for this situation. Yeah. Granted, it's a crisis, and it's not the same for everybody else. But I guess the good news is that you come well equipped to help people through these difficult times. It's what you do all the time, right? So
we do, yeah. And then I think, because of the way our business is structured, Galvanize has kind of 3 buckets of business. We do startup advisory work. So obviously they're struggling a bit because they're trying to figure out how to sustain themselves when it's already, tricky for them, and now this on top of it. Then we have kind of business as usual from our regular bigger clients. And then we do crisis communications and crisis management. So obviously a lot of attention and work is focused on that, and shifting to, how our arenas, stadiums, leagues, teams, businesses, et cetera, handling shutdown, communications with the public, communications within their organizations. So we have been spending a lot of time there for sure.
Mm-hmm. Are you finding that, are a lot more people reaching out to you right now? Clearly there's got to be a little bit more of a workload, I would imagine, that you have to deal with that right now.
Yeah, it's been interesting. We have gotten 3 pieces of new business last week. And I would say I'm surprised at that. Not that we aren't, fantastic and getting new business anyway, but I was worried we'd be losing business, that people would be freezing. Mm-hmm. And what's happening instead is that they're, wisely using this time to figure out how to differently market, which is great, or how to differently communicate, which we're happy to help them do. They're using this time to really get organized around the things that they haven't been doing lately. So journey mapping, foundation messaging, website revamp, content programs that they haven't had the time to do before, that now they have the time to do. So that's been good. And then there are others who are, as an example, active in the manufacturing or the scale up of manufacturing of pharmaceuticals and medical equipment. And so they're coming to us saying, listen, we've reached out to government entities all around the world. Things are moving too slowly. Can you help us break through the noise and get attention for the fact that we're here, we have capacity, and we can help.
Yeah, and what an important message to get out, right? I mean, you're all about telling stories, right? I was just looking at your page there. The power of authentic stories, well told, right? And that's really what you guys do. You help your clients tell the stories that they need to communicate. Let's talk a little bit about Business Council of Westchester and your role there. I've seen a lot of activity in the last couple of weeks. Which is really not much different, truthfully, with BCW. They're always out, at the forefront of opportunity for Westchester County. What are we doing? What is BCW doing currently to help people through this? Could we just talk a little bit about that? Yeah. I know that there was a few different webinars. Members can get on those webinars. What would you like to tell our audience about BCW and how, if they are a member and they're listening to this, what could they do to tap into it?
Yeah, I will tell you that I've been involved with the Business Council of Westchester for probably 20 years, since my early days at MasterCard. And I will tell you that I've always loved the organization, but I have never, ever been more proud to be a part of the Business Council of Westchester than in the last 3 weeks. Because early on, they completely pivoted and they were like, okay, we're going to be one-stop shop for all the really critical business information needs. And they've done just that. So they've really stepped up. We are getting all the information that's coming from the federal stimulus or other avenues. We're assessing it quickly and getting it out the door. And then we're hosting, again, different webinars, different conference calls to educate people about what it means for them, how it might work for them. We, as you know, have a bunch of different committees and councils. They have not missed a beat. So those, councils have been meeting virtually. And I will tell you that it's hundreds of people. It's, all the little boxes on Zoom, hundreds of people just wanting to connect together, to see each other, to share information, to check in on colleagues. And I think that's what's making it even more special, is that in between stuff, right? The folks at the Business Council reaching out to check on all of us to make sure we're okay. The members of the Business Council getting together. And really the Business Council has said, we're not even going to limit the information to just members. It's available to everybody because we're about economic development in Westchester.
I noticed that.
Everybody needs it. And so it's open. Have at it.
It's throughout this isolation, there is a common theme that I seem to be hearing. And it's certainly about, even though we're separate, we're together and we're coming together, through, virtual situation here with Zoom. Yeah. But people are getting creative and doing, more virtual meetings. But you're right. They could be upwards of 100 people at one time.
Incredible.
I've had more one-on-one meetings, through using Zoom at this point.
Yeah.
So even though we're really not seeing people, I still feel like we are.
We're together. I feel like there's a great sense of community too. And what we're not even seeing, which I now have the privilege of seeing, is just the emails back and forth. Like one member saying, I have food and I want to deliver the food. Does anybody have trucks? Right? And they reach out to Marsha Gordon or John Ravitz and the team at the Business Council, and they connect them to a member who has trucks and masks or ventilators. It's incredible, the connections that they're making to help solve some of these problems in real time. It's been inspiring, and I feel really just proud to play any little small part in the whole thing. It's incredible.
Yeah, you do. Well, you actually play a big part, but at the same time, it is great to see everybody coming together in so many different ways. And you're right. I mean, there was I guess a webinar that took place yesterday that was supposed to be, whichever hotel, but they decided to have it virtual. I sat on there and I learned a couple things, and Dan Mulroy did a great job with his presentation. And so it's great to know that BCW is behind us and that you're helping, be right at the forefront of all that. So, thank you, Heidi, for all of your work that you do there. At the same time, you've got a family to take care of, and you've got your, being the CEO of Galvanize Worldwide is certainly no small feat. And, I want you to keep up the good work there. And how can people, can people reach out to you? What would be a great way for them to find you if they needed you?
I'm happy to give my email is Heidi@galvanizeworldwide.com, but I'm also on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook. What else? Instagram.
Yeah. Okay.
Reach out to me anyway.
Great.
Any way at all. I'm happy to help.
Sounds good. Heidi, keep up the smiles. I can't wait to see you in person soon enough. It'll be a great day when that happens. And
it will be.
It will be. The sun will rise, and we will be back out there. We just have to do our part right now and flatten that curve and get creative and innovate. And I always say, and kind of through these times, part of our little mantra here is to obviously to be strong, be safe, but create and innovate. So you've been listening to Westchester Talk Radio, produced by Shark Creative, made possible by Entergy, Indian Point Energy Center, Lapolis Electric, White Plains Hospital, Hightower Westchester, and Park Sterling Realty. Heidi Davidson, Galvanize Worldwide. Galvanize Worldwide. Thank you so much for being with us today, and we will see you soon enough.
See you soon. Thank you. Take care.